All right, guys. So, 30-day nutrition part 5. So, talking about workouts, quick cap over everything we discussed. So, workouts, biggest thing is this month we've got a lot of focus on our core and our cardio is the main focus for the classes. Um, Big piece definitely driven around making sure that you guys are hitting lots of core and lots of cardio here in these last 30 days. So, with that being said, the goal is to try to do 3 days of cardio a week. So, pretty simple: metabolic, Sunday fun day, and a core and cardio class. If you're missing Sunday fun day, you're missing one of those classes, you need to be doing cardio. And I would definitely suggest interval training still. When you get done with it, you should be pretty exhausted. Okay? So, a pretty good example would be if you're using an elliptical, you need to crank the elliptical up as high as you can on a level that you can move it at a pretty good speed. Okay, so pretty good speed meaning that it should be a high level. It should almost be that kind of like walking in mud, but your legs should be going at this speed here. Okay, all right. So there's your speed there for the high resistance. Now, then you're going to switch, and you're going to switch into an interval. Let's say 2 on the high resistance, and then 2 on the fast, or like a 1-3 ratio. So it should equal about 4 minutes no matter what in the different levels. So you have your heavy resistance here, and you're moving about like that, okay? And then it switches to your lighter resistance, so where you can move your feet like this, okay? So it should be right there, okay? So really, really fast. Should be the second portion of that interval. All right, so that's your ideal on elliptical. Stairmaster, same concept. Now treadmill, if you're using a treadmill, I don't suggest like going into like full-on sprints. Ideally in those intervals, you're going to have to do intervals of like high incline to like a very low incline. But they should be like a walk that's pretty fast to where you almost are going to have to go into a jog. So right there is your workouts. Like I said, we're going to hit lots of core and lots of cardio this month. Even some of our days that we're just doing our regular lifts, it's going to become cardio-based stuff. So for some of you guys, make sure you're really hitting those days and getting that core and that cardio in. All right. So recap on everything we talked about. We've pulled a lot of food out, and I understand once again that can be kind of tough. The foods that I suggested you pull out are simply because if you've been following the nutrition as we've been going, you're at that point now that pulling those things out isn't that big of a deal. If you haven't been following that as you should be, then yes, these are going to be some issues that when you pull these out, it's going to be extremely, extremely hard for you. So if you haven't been following the whole program up till now, this is where you're going to have some of the biggest issues, and it is going to be a little troublesome for you as you go on. All right. So once again, communicate as much as you can. Let me know where you're having issues at. Grant, this food doesn't taste great here. Different things like that. One of the things that we discussed was people are getting tired of the egg whites, and one of the discussions was drinking your egg whites. Now, I don't want you to be like Rocky and crack your egg open and put egg whites in there. They make a carton of egg whites that are pasteurized, so you don't have to worry about salmonella or anything like that. It's pasteurized egg whites. You can literally drink them straight out of the carton if you want to, and it's completely okay. I would not suggest that because there's no good flavor to it. What I would suggest is taking it and putting it in your protein shake, so 4 ounces of egg whites, protein powder, and then 4 ounces of almond milk, and that's it. Or if you want a little more liquid to it, you can add the rest and put the rest water. Um, Another thing is a lot of you guys have been using almond milk for all of the liquid. That's okay. I would tell you to try to split it out if you can. 4 ounces of almond milk and 4 ounces of water would be ideal, just to kind of cut back on those calories from items like almond milk. So those are some really easy, creative ways. Easy way to get in egg whites, 4 ounces of egg whites. Get some extra protein in. Don't have to worry about eating it, and it gets a little bit easier for you to do. So that's kind of like what I would tell you in those regards. So same thing with, I think we talked about ground turkey. People are getting kind of like, well, ground turkey's getting tough, things like that. Well, ground turkey, what I do is I take chopped up peppers, chop up my own peppers, granulated garlic, use onion flakes for the stickiness and for some like contact of it, and then I'll take an egg, maybe, depending on what my day looks like. But I may take an egg, crack an egg open, and put an egg in there to kind of like give it some binding of it, or I won't do it. Just really depend on where my macros are at. I have to make sure I calculate in that egg, and then I'll put that together, and then I'll take an ice cream scooper and I'll literally mash it all up, and I'll scoop it out with an ice cream scooper, and then I will then shoot that into a muffin pan. So then you wind up with little meatballs of turkey for your day. Okay, so once again, that's an easy way to kind of do that as well. There's other alternatives and ideas that you can do for that. So, and then let's touch base on condiments is the last thing that we need to touch base on. A lot of you guys that were using those marinades and stuff before, I've seen some pictures of you guys' food, and it looks like you're either sauteing it in a pan or it has been made in a crock pot. Now, if you're doing it in a crock pot, I would suggest us stopping that. A lot of those juices and all that marinade then stays on the chicken. I see like a big like sheet of that marinade on the chicken. We want to try to switch to Mrs. Dash, if all possible. All Mrs. Dash if possible. They make Mrs. Dash in so many different flavors that it's like awesome. Between Southwest Chipotle, and they actually make a fajita and taco seasoning too as well that are no sodium. Once again, these last 30 days we are trying to minimize sodium a little bit. Definitely going to cut back on it quite a bit. There's a lot of sodium that we get in our natural diet anyways that we just don't realize. So if we can cut back the seasonings, things like hot sauces, if you're doing a hot sauce and there's sodium in it, you need to cut it back. Trader Joe's has a hot sauce. It's really, really good. It's good for you. It has no sodium in it. I would definitely recommend that. Now, Pace Picante sauces and things like that, your salsas, you need to cut back on those, especially if they're high in sodium. Like I was telling the group the other day, if you can do chop your own stuff up, or they make like the pico that you can buy in the freezer section or the fridge section that's already chopped up for you. Do that. Once again, moderation. It shouldn't be in every single meal. It should be spread out throughout each meal if possible. So mustard's still good. Shouldn't be doing ketchup. No barbecue sauces. Your salad dressings should be very, very minimal if possible. Using vinaigrettes. Once again, measuring your vinaigrettes for those different pieces that you're doing. Dip the fork in the dressing and then eat the salad. So that little taste is always a good method for you guys. But condiments, literally mustard's going to be go-to. You can use mustard up. Make sure it's regular mustard, not honey mustard with sugar in it. So we're trying to cut the sugars and those sodiums back as much as we can in our condiments. There's no reason to have those extra little things in there whenever, those carbs that you're getting from the sugar, you'd rather have probably like an actual carb. So that is going to be all of your condiments. Like I said, once again, 30 days left, guys. Last 30 days, last big push. Lots of good opportunity for you guys to still come out with some big results. Lots of opportunities still for, people to have events coming up. I know there's a lot of graduations and things of that nature coming up. So there's going to be a lot of temptation in the air. And around this time, you have 30 days left, literally. Actually, we're 26 days left at this point for some of you guys. Now, some of you guys were also asking about day 4 pictures. We're going all the way to the last day of the month. So if you want to do your picture the last day of the month, you're more than happy to. If some of you guys are going to be done, like, hey, I want to be done the day before Memorial Weekend, that's fine. You can do your pictures and stuff the day before Memorial Weekend. Just know that, the opportunity to take the picture is always the last day, and then there's going to be a lot of people that are going to take that opportunity to take their picture at the very last day of the challenge. So, once again, if you haven't done your measurements still, let me know. Once again, we'll do your pictures again at the very, very end and determine the winner shortly after that. So there you guys go. There's your 30 days nutrition piece, part 5, recap. Guys, keep it up. You guys are doing great. Stay after it. And I look forward to seeing you guys and all the results you guys get at the end of these 30 days. All right, guys. Thank you.